So I just want to be 100% real with you guys because high school is nothing like the movies, and it's really different from a lot of like advice videos that I've seen on YouTube. And I want to give you guys the kind of advice that's really going to help you succeed in high school. If you're new to my channel, my name is Bella. It is so amazing to meet you. Today's video, I am doing a high school advice video, but I am giving you guys the real, honest, good advice that you really need to hear. I made a freshman advice video after I finished my freshman year of high school, and I accidentally deleted it. So I'm making another one, but honestly, since making that, my views on high school have literally changed so much, so it's a good thing that I'm making a new video. If you don't know, I am going into my junior year of high school, so I'm like halfway there. I'll probably make another video once I completely finish high school, but I just want to make this video for you guys because I feel like I've learned so much in my freshman and sophomore year, and I know a lot of you are probably going into high school for your very first time, and I just want to give you guys some advice that's really going to help you out. So with all of that being said, let's just get right on into the video. So I have notes that I'm reading off of, but the first thing I want to talk about are academics. Academics are extremely important. Don't go into high school thinking that you can just goof around, play around, and that it won't matter, because that's not true. Academics matter a lot, but what I want to say is, as much as academics matter, and as much as you want to challenge yourself and make sure that you're taking, the hardest classes that you can but still do good in them, I want you guys to understand that academics are not everything. So if you do plan on pursuing college, I want you guys to understand that college admissions don't just look at your grades. There are so many people who go to college and who are applying who have straight A's, but a lot of them don't get accepted, and because it's not 100% about grades. It's about extracurricular activities and doing stuff outside of just academics. They really want to see that you're a well-rounded person. So I'm going to get more into extracurriculars, but I just wanted to tell you guys that much, is that do the best you can in your academics, but don't stress yourself to death over it, because there are so many things that colleges look at besides just grades. So kind of getting into the stuff that I feel like a lot of people want to hear in a freshman advice video, drama. I'm going to talk about drama. I don't have much to say about drama because I honestly haven't had to deal with any drama in my high school career so far, which I'm so happy about because drama is the worst. The only advice I can give about that is avoid it as much as you can. Don't be friends with the fake girls or boys, or just try to avoid putting yourself in situations that would cause drama. So that's the best piece of advice I can give you guys with that, is just try to avoid it. A lot of people party way too hard in high school and they don't focus on grades, and I think that it's important to have fun in high school, but you also need to focus on your academics. It's all about balancing everything out. My sophomore year of high school, I did nothing but just work on schoolwork the entire time, and it was honestly such a boring year. And so what I want you guys to take from this is that have fun in high school. Having fun is so important. That's what's gonna make the 4 years of high school bearable. Don't just do school, balance it out with friends and maybe getting involved in extracurricular activities and that sort of thing. But just have fun. Make sure you guys are having fun, because you're getting into the last part of your childhood, and then before you know it, you're going to be going off to college and having to deal with adult things. And so utilize the time you have as a teenager and just have a good time while still making sure that you're doing well in school. Just balancing it all out. The next thing I want to talk about is relationships. I feel like so many of the advice videos that I watched before I went into high school said, don't get into relationships, it's not worth it, you're not going to be with them in the long run, and blah, 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 blah. And I disagree with that. And the reason that I disagree with that is because I think that if you find somebody that you like in the moment, I think that you should be in a relationship with them if you want to, because life is all about experiences, and you can't just say, oh, because I'm in school, I can't be in a relationship because I need to focus on only school. Because if you think about it, it's like we have relationships with our friends and with our families, and yeah, it's not a romantic relationship, but it's still a type of relationship. And so again, when it comes to that kind of thing, I think it's really important to just balance it out. If you want to have a boyfriend, that's completely fine. Just make sure you're balancing out that relationship with hanging out with friends and still spending time with family and still focusing on school. And it's not impossible, and you definitely shouldn't let people tell you that you shouldn't be in a relationship if you don't want to be in a relationship. Getting back into like academics and stuff, don't be afraid to take hard classes. I know that it may seem really intimidating to want to go for like the honors or the AP, or if your school offers dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is what I'm doing and I love it. It may seem intimidating, like, oh, I can't do that, that's too hard, but you really don't know until you try. And a lot of times these classes aren't as hard as you think they're gonna be. It's about working hard and putting in good work ethic. So don't be afraid to take challenging classes, because honestly, if you're taking the really easy classes, high school is gonna be boring. You have to have a little bit of challenge in what you're doing, or high school in general isn't exactly fun, but I think that if you're just doing really easy, like busy work, that just kind of makes it worse. It makes it even more boring, and you don't really have a lot of motivation. So, really try to challenge yourself as much as possible in high school. Another thing I have on here is don't be afraid to join new clubs. This is another thing that can be intimidating. There were a lot of times in high school, and there still are, where I want to like join a certain club, or I wanted to join a certain club, but none of my friends were doing it, so I didn't do it because I didn't want to be alone and whatnot. But if you guys want to do a club, you totally should, regardless of what other people say, regardless of whether your friends are doing it or not. If you want to do it, because you may end up loving it. So I feel like in every single advice video I've seen, whenever the person is talking about extracurricular activities, they're always talking about like clubs and just school like oriented things, events. And I just want to say that extracurricular activities don't have to be school related. They don't have to be school clubs. It doesn't have to be school events and rallies. You can do volunteering outside of the school. I'm hopefully going to be volunteering soon for a hospital nearby me. You can get a job. There are so many extracurricular activities that you guys can do that don't have to be school oriented, because honestly, I'm in one club at my school. Like, I'm not a huge fan of school clubs. Like, it's just not my thing, and I've learned that through my years of high school. I tried to do more clubs in the beginning of sophomore year and it didn't work out, and I realized that's just because I'm not a huge school club person, but I've found ways to get involved in extracurricular activities like outside of school. And so I feel like that's a really important thing to know, because I didn't really realize that there were extracurriculars I could do outside of school. I thought it had to be school clubs, like student council and that sort of thing, but it doesn't. Like, you guys can do literally anything. This is kind of random, but I would say have a few really close friends. I think in the beginning of my freshman year, when I first got into high school, I tried to be friends with a bunch of different people, and I ended up not really having a couple people that I could actually really rely on. Nobody actually really had my back. And then sophomore year, I became close with like 4 or 5 people, and that's honestly so much better than having a ton of friends. Like, you can be acquaintances with people, but I would just say try to be close friends with just a few people that you can really rely on. It's gonna make your high school experience so much better. Again, I'm getting back into like academics here. Studying is so important, but you don't need to spend hours doing it. I know so many people who will be like, oh my gosh, I was up all night studying, and really that's like not necessary. For example, let's say you have a test in like a week or 2. You could study like 15 or 30 minutes every day, and then maybe like the day before study a little bit extra, and like honestly, you'll do good. You don't need to study for hours on end. You just don't. Trust me, I haven't had to study for hours on end like at all since I've been in high school. I've just studied a little bit each day, and that has helped me so much. Also, just pay attention in class. If you pay attention and you're a really active learner in class, like you raise your hands, you ask questions, you take notes, like by the time you have to take a test, you're gonna do great because you've been learning the material. The people who I know who study for hours and hours and hours are people who don't pay attention in class, are people who cram, at the last minute. So just be an active learner, and you guys won't need to study for hours and hours and hours. Talk to your guidance counselor. My entire freshman year of high school, I think I went to my guidance counselor like one time, and then my sophomore year, I was going like every single week. And honestly, it was so helpful to go talk to my guidance counselor, about whatever it was. Mine was mainly academics, and he helped me realize like what classes I wanted to take, what credits I had, and what credits I didn't have. And it was really helpful to be able to talk about that instead of trying to figure it out all by myself. So that's a really big thing that I would recommend doing, is seeing who your guidance counselor is and, talking to them. Another thing that kind of ties in with this is forming good relationships with your teachers. I'm not saying suck up to your teachers or anything like that. Be nice with your teachers. If you form a good relationship with your teacher, they're going to like you so much more. And if something comes up and maybe you have to turn something in late for whatever reason, chances are they're going to be more understanding than if you have a bad relationship with them. So just try to form good relationships with teachers and just be nice to them. Another thing I have to say is be nice to people. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. That's just so important, to be nice to people. You'll make friends easier. You'll just have a lot more people that'll have your back. Just be nice. Like, you get what you give out. So, be nice. I want to say that if you absolutely hate regular high school, like you get into high school and you just decide it is completely not for you, I want you to know that there are other ways that you can go to high school, or other ways of schooling. You could do online school. I did an online class last year and I really liked it. I personally wouldn't want to do all my classes online, but it's something to consider if you just don't like being in a classroom. You can also see if your school has dual enrollment. Again, that's what I'm in, and I absolutely love it. I totally recommend it if you have it at your school. It is a wonderful program. You can try AP classes. Maybe you're just not being challenged enough in school. Or you can even see if you can graduate early. Maybe high school is just not your scene. You're not, making friends easy. You could always just talk to your guidance counselor and work things out to see maybe you could graduate a year early or something and just go to college. Because I know that for some people that's just what works for them. Me personally, I didn't want to graduate early, but you might get into high school and decide that that's something that you want to do. So just consider that there are so many forms of schooling, and you don't just have to be sitting in a classroom for 7 hours a day. High school football games and dances like homecoming are honestly so much fun, and you guys should definitely go. Homecoming especially, I love it. Don't just sit in your room and mope around. Get out and go do something. Go to the dances, go to the football games, meet new people. That's part of what makes high school exciting, and I feel like when you take that away, or when you don't do those things, high school just becomes all about the schoolwork, and it's not fun, and it's important to have fun. So do that. One of the last things I want to say is gonna sound cliche, but that's, don't be afraid to be who you are. I love making YouTube videos, and it's not exactly easy to sit behind a camera and post videos and know that there's people at my school watching, It's kind of weird, but honestly, in the end, you have to be who you are, and you have to do what you like, and you have to just not care what other people think, If you care what other people think, then you're just not gonna feel comfortable in your own skin. So, wear what you like wearing, and act like how you like to act, Don't try to be somebody else or copy somebody else's personality. Just be you, be who you are, and you're gonna find the right path, and you're gonna meet the right people. So altogether, if you guys are going into high school, I wish you guys the best of luck. You're gonna do amazing. High school is not as scary as it seems. It's literally just school. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. It's free to subscribe, so why not? With all of that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!